I'll go apologize. Hey, you fucking idiot, you'll get killed. Oh, hello, it's me again, the jam of content warning. This episode is a real fucking doozy, so feel free to look on screen at the content warning if you're just wanting to double check you're good to go ahead for this one. Have a nice time! This fucking genuinely sucks. I put on my shoes, tapped my toes against the floor a few times, then left, and Mion timidly came over. Why is she turning all red at a time like this? Can I hold your arm? For fuck's sake. It was such a modest request. I don't mind. With my permission, her face lit up with glee, like a child being given a toy, and took my arm. Do you get kind of nervous with your arm through mine? You're not thinking, for example, that I'd suddenly put you in a world-class joint lock or anything. You two say the same things. I don't think that. At all. You two say the same things. Oh my god. Whoa. Back when nothing had gone wrong yet, during those nostalgic days of the bustling commotion at Angel Mart, I counted back and was amazed. It had only been 1 week ago. I had been arm in arm with Shion then too. Linking arms with Mion like this really reminded me that they were twins. How much strength they put into it. The sensation of their arms, their warmth and the blood flowing. I could feel that her living sensations were all exactly the same. I think Shion liked you, Kei-chan. I see. If this were a regular conversation, I might have jumped back, red in the face. Right now, though, no matter what I heard, my mind remained at peace. Mion and Shion, you got along well, didn't you? Well, I wonder. Hey-chan, do you think your right hand and left hand get along? Huh? My right hand and left hand? I don't think you could describe them as getting along or not. That's how our relationship is. You can't measure it by the scale of how well we get along. That didn't sound like it meant they got along really well. For example, one of your hands is dominant, so there will always be a better hand. Yeah. This is... I really, really hope that we find out if my theory is right or not. It's going to eat me alive if it's left sort of up to interpretation. But I'm so confident. Maybe I don't need closure. Only a coward needs closure. I'm kidding. I need closure. I mean, either I'm kidding, I need closure, or kidding, I need closure because I'm a coward. Or maybe I'm not a coward because I need closure. But I am a coward and I need closure. If you only had one oven mitt, you would put it on your dominant hand without thinking, right? I think maybe it was like that for us. That doesn't mean, though, that anyone would be okay with losing their left hand. So this Mion is saying that Shion was the non-dominant hand. Interesting. I really, really feel like this is a lot of Shion projection right now, I really do. It's that kind of unexplainable relationship. I think that maybe you live too close together and just stop being able to see it, but I think that means you get along really well. I'm an only child, so the day before the festival, I was really jealous of when you and Shion were messing around with each other. I think you're jealous of something that doesn't exist. Yes, we twins used to have a lot of fun playing tricks on people. But now that we have such distinctly different personalities, it just gets in the way. Were they cursed, or were they self-conscious? Their relationship was hard to understand for an outsider. Maybe that wasn't an issue someone like me should intrude on. Just staying silent and nodding gently was the best way to advance the conversation. Mion passed through the wide yard and invited me into the big, desolate forest we'd seen on the way in. Such a big forest was part of their property, so I couldn't help but feel small. It's huge. You must have had a great time playing in it as kids, huh? Mion seemed to be silently reminiscing. I couldn't look into her mind, but she was probably thinking back to those fun days when they played as sisters without any antagonism. Every time the wind blew, it caressed the treetops and the leaves, making a swishing, murmuring sound. Mion remained silent for a long time, thinking back on her younger sister, whom she had gotten rid of with her own hands. There was no need for me to get a word in. Just walking like this, arm in arm, was enough. Mion suddenly stopped and turned. Shion is still alive. Really? Mion took a hard look into my eyes, then nodded quietly. Yeah. I'd been thinking to give her the most horrible death of all, so I had her locked up. I never did think of a good way to do it, though. Mion sounded as though she hated Shion, but also deep down, she didn't completely detest her. Really? That's what you're getting from this? Like, look, maybe I'm not picking up the tone, but like, what the fuck is going on? So I took my other hand and rustled Mion's hair with it. Really, it's like, I didn't actually get around to killing my sister yet because I hate her so much that I couldn't think of a detestable enough torture method to use, and you're like, oh, you little scamp, you, oh, ruffle, ruffle, ruffle. What the hell is going on? I don't... Peachy, do you have no, like, self-preservation skills whatsoever? Well, maybe this is your self-preservation. To be fair, acting horrified probably wouldn't be a good move in terms of self-preservation, so maybe I've got it wrong. Mion didn't only save me. She saved Shion, too. Mion may have become a demon and led many people to their deaths, but she fought against it and was able to save 2 people. As I petted Mion, she narrowed her eyes in an entranced smile and untangled her arm from mine. Then Mion quietly said, "Come with me. I want you to see all of my sins. Although, Kei-chan, it might be the worst thing you've ever seen." I don't know. I don't want... No. Oh no, I don't want to. Keiichi, you don't... Okay, look, I know what your fucking thought process is. I don't think this is a fucking weight that you have to share. You don't have to bear this shit, man. Let's just not do that, actually. Please. I could sense it. There I would probably find all the sacrifices up until now. Looking at them would mean accepting Rika-chan and Satoko's deaths, as well as accepting that my best friend had done it. It's already happened and it's in the past. You can choose not to look, Kei-chan. If you don't want to, then wait here. I will personally end everything. Great, well now we have to fucking go, don't we? We have no choice but to. Otherwise Rena will be upset. It's like, you didn't go into the torture rooms to save me, Mion? I was taken aback by how ominous that sounded. I remembered what Renna had told me. Mion might not surrender herself to justice, but choose to put an end to things herself. I couldn't leave her on her own. Besides, I agreed to her last request, didn't I? Even if it was hard for me to accept, I'll still do it. Even if I avoided looking, it was something that had already happened. It doesn't matter what I see. Yes? Mion Sonozaki is the best friend I could ever have. That won't change. Never will. The treetops softly swayed in the wind. You and Renna both. Why do you only get really cool at times like this? Normally I'd say something rude right back at her, evading the question, but today I didn't. I just answered with a smile. At last, Mion started walking. Into the thick forest, into the deepest part. We're gonna die. We're gonna fucking die. After following a thin path that looked like an animal trail for a while, we finally came across a steep incline with a tunnel that reminded me of a coal mine or a bomb shelter. We were surrounded by shallow hills. It had been created in a spot not visible from the outside. There were many silhouettes of crows in the trees here and there. The abnormal odour I'd been smelling for a while was doubtlessly escaping from inside this place. If you want to turn back, now's your chance. I don't know what kind of person Mion Sonozaki is to you, but if you go inside, that Mion will probably... She won't change. I'll say it as many times as I need to. Mion Sonozaki is the best friend I could ever have. If this is Shion, then this fucking sucks for her. I clench my fists. Inside there was probably a sight beyond anything I could imagine. If I let my guard down, I end up vomiting. Even so, I'll endure it. I'll overcome this pain and this suffering. It will never change. That Mion is my greatest friend. I am nothing more than a demon, so I don't understand human feelings anymore. I have a feeling, though, that I know why Mion fell in love with you. It's so she... Oh, God. I don't... I don't want to. I really don't want to. Don't say that like it's not related to you. You're Mion. You're not a demon. You're a human with human blood and you're my friend. Mion made a gesture like she was wiping tears from her eyes, then placed a hand on the big door in the tunnel entrance. The lock on it was dauntingly strong-looking. It seemed to demand the appropriate resolution from whoever would enter, just like the ritual storehouse. When the double doors opened, stifling, rotten air and a bunch of winged insects came rushing out. I remember accidentally killing a hermit crab a long time ago by leaving its tank out on the porch, and how intense the odour it left was. If that was the smell of a corpse, then that's certainly what this smelled like. Inside it was pitch black, but Mion flicked a switch that turned on a light bulb, illuminating the interior. The path turned into a series of intricate wooden tunnels. We passed spaces that looked like they were for storage. We passed places that looked like someone had lived there. All this indicated that it had been used as a bomb shelter and stockpile during the war. It didn't give an impression of a dug-out bomb shelter that had just been left there, though. There was a sense of dignity, as though this were a second Sonozaki house constructed underground, despite being in pitch darkness below the ground. The voices of the cicadas were entering through an air hole somewhere, giving it a very mysterious feel. You saw what was in the ritual storehouse, right? The piles of torture instruments. All of them were created to uphold the strict religious laws of Onigafuchi village. They were tools used to kill those who broke the laws in terrible ways as a warning to others. That was a long time ago. Watanagashi, originally a ritual meant as a deterrent, was once overseen by the three families, but thanks to the Kimiyoshi and Furude families going into decline, and the way the times change, actually carrying it out became difficult. I can imagine why. You'd never think people could be okay with drowning people in a swamp and killing them in modern Japan. That's why the Sonozaki family built this, a secret place, so we could continue to conduct the rite of Watanagashi, even in modern times. Fuck. Mion opened a large, strikingly different door, and inside was none other than a modern storehouse for ritual implements. There's quite a few, isn't there? Some of them were actually brought here from the original storehouse. All of the things there had been rusty and covered in dust, so they didn't seem that real. But the things in here were different. Every one of them had been well maintained and kept in a state that they could be used right away. Blades gleamed and spikes were sharpened. Also, perhaps as a precaution for the splatter of blood, the walls and ceiling were covered in the kind of tiling you would see in bathrooms, and there was even a drain set amidst a slight slope in the floor. There was also a coiled rubber hose along the wall attached to a faucet, perhaps for cleaning up the splattered blood. According to something a leader from a long time ago wrote, blood splatter has impact, despite the fact it doesn't tax the sacrifice. Watanagashi was meant as a deterrent after all. My ancestors thought up all different kinds of things to show off. As she said that, Mion pointed deeper into the torture room, to a spot veiled in darkness. There was surprisingly a room floored with tatami mats, and in the corner was a pile of cushions. They're seats for the audience. Watanagashi was meant as a deterrent after all. It wouldn't make sense if there were no guests. Why do I feel like, at best, we're going to be a guest? Or at worst, depending on your point of view. God. I couldn't speak. And I couldn't think of anything to say anyway. Except that if Mion revealing all this to me made her heart feel any lighter, then I was prepared to listen for as long as I needed to. Right here is where I killed everyone. There were no spectators to watch me, but I did the Watanagashi very well. Well, perhaps there was one spectator. Huh? A spectator? Me. I, the demon, was watching the entire time Mion held the Watanagashi ceremony. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Mion cackled in self-deprecation. It wasn't a nice sounding laugh. Back there is the prison. Is she on there? She nodded slightly. Mion's Watanagashi had ended today. I needed to tell Shion that I was safe without a moment's delay. After all, she was probably trembling in fear at this very moment, worrying about when she would be killed. The ostentatious door on the other side opened, revealing what must have been an incredibly expansive space based on the echo it made. Mion groped around in the darkness, and a handful of naked light bulbs came on here and there. As my eyes adjusted, more and more of the great cave showed itself in the faint light. The walls were bare rock surface, and it felt so savage that bomb shelter was the most apt term for it. There were small, barreled rooms built here and there, like holes made by insects biting their way through a giant piece of fruit. God, oh my god. My legs are like tingling with like fear. It feels like, I don't know how to describe what it feels. It's like my bones. This is, oh god, okay. Oh god, okay. It was immediately clear that each one of them was a prison. Where is everyone? Rika-chan and Satoko. Their corpses. I grimaced at her having saying it so... I think this is genuinely bar none the most fucked up thing I have ever sort of been through. I grimaced at her having said it so outright. Yeah, that's right. The poor things being left here in the dark like this. I didn't want them to get infested with bugs, so I threw them down the well. I'm sorry. So I can't even see their faces in death. Once again. My feelings of regret at having confessed everything to Rika-chan came surging forth. If Mion hadn't attached the word sorry to the end of what she said, I might have punched her. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. You said it yourself. No matter what, Mion Sonozaki is your greatest friend. Yeah, my greatest friend. I needed to hear myself say it out loud. Then came the clattering of bars in one of the cells deeper in. When I noticed it, I looked up as well. Shion? Is that Shion? Kei-chan? Is that you, Kei-chan? I ran over to the cell. White hands were peeking out through the gaps in the bars. It really was her. Are you alright, Shion? Are you hurt? No. Shion's face twisted out of shape as he screamed. I didn't do that justice. We're gonna hear that. I'm too, like, horrified to really put my all into some of this. There we go. I hope we're all feeling better now. Shion's face twisted out of shape as she screamed. It was because Mion had appeared right behind me. Of course. Shion didn't know that everything was over yet. Down, Shion. Everything is already over. Everything. I spoke in as calm a voice as I could manage to try and soothe the agitated Shion. However, it didn't seem like it was getting through her screams. Shion, how have you been? No more, please. No more. I don't want to see anyone else die. If you hate me, then just kill me already. I'm the one you hate, right? Kill me right now. Yes. Calm down, Shion. It's all over now. It's gonna be alright. So calm down. Shion, who was screaming and rattling the iron bars back and forth, was truly in a frantic state. I gave a slight shrug of resignation, giving way to Mion. I had realised that if Mion was the one who locked her in here, And if Mion was the one who had scared Shion this much, then Mion was also the only one who could put an end to this. Mion spoke from over my shoulder, quietly. Relax. I won't kill you. No, I won't kill you just yet. She burst out into a bizarre laugh as if trying to make Shion's madness even worse. And let's hear that bizarre laugh. Anything to fucking put this off.
安心しなよ。あんたは殺さない。まだまだ殺さないんだから。
Why did we do this, man? Like, couldn't we have, like, atoned for our sins some other ways with, like, charitable donations or, I don't know, doing those stupid special school assemblies about the important, and ours would be about the importance of owning up to what you've done wrong. Why did we have to go into the torture device room? Ren is just like fucking kicking back in Mion's bedroom reading manga. And we're about to be fucking filleted, I think. Shion broke out into a fierce shiver, brought on by that laugh, and rattled the iron bars as she wailed. Please stop! Don't kill Kei-chan! Kei-chan has nothing to do with this, does he? If you're gonna kill someone, then kill me right now! I don't want anyone else to die! If you want to die that badly, then after I've killed this man, I'll take my time making mincemeat out of you. Oh yeah, okay. In accordance with the ancient rites, I'll do it slowly, starting with your extremities. I'll shave you down and mince you. I had that mincing machine set up specifically for you, after all. How would it be funnier if I was to mince up Kei-chan in front of you? Hey, quit it already. What do you have to gain by scaring her at this point? No. Oh, God. Kei-chan, run away! I tried to rebuke Mion for flinging terrible words at her this late in the game, but when I turned around... Mion's mouth, so much so that it was hard to believe, had twisted into a shape even thinner than a crescent moon. It was a smile. I could sense it like a jolt of electricity. The person here wasn't my best friend Mion. It wasn't the Mion Sonozaki who'd been tossed about by the heavy duty of succeeding the Sonozaki family either. Then, who was she? Ba-bam. I saw sparks flying before my eyes, like what happens when you get hit in the back of the head. The strength in my body drained instantly, and my head suddenly became heavy. My knees buckled under the temptation and hit the floor. Then, my whole body abruptly collapsed. My face should have hit the floor, but it was comfortable, as if I had fallen onto a down-filled futon. My consciousness reeled, then receded. It was the kind of sensation like if you took a nap in the car, but you were still half awake and could listen to your parents talking as if they were far away. No, you wouldn't be listening. You would only be hearing it. It was happening so far away, and the conversation was completely unrelated to you, so you would have no interest in it. So whether Shion was yelling in my ears, or Mion was in vulgar hysterics, I didn't think it annoying, nor did it interest me. Now then, I wonder how I should go about preparing you. Oh yes, what do you think of a bed of nails? I tested it on those two little brats, but their hands were too small for the restraining table. Let's do that. Let's do that. Mion held me up from behind and dragged me across the floor. The soles of my feet scraped on it, and one of my shoes fell off. This is worse than Chapter 1. No, please stop, sis. Please stop. Shion's emotions exploded outwards, and she burst into bitter weeping. As if her crying had whetted Mion's interest. As if her crying had whetted Mion's interest, she flung me down and returned to the prison cell. My, you sure can cry with a cute voice, can't you? Your unnatural bravado was making my skin crawl, but this definitely suits you the best. Mion, my big sister, I beg you. I don't care how you choose to kill me, but please at least let Kei-chan go. I'm begging you. Shion had always acted as though she were a cut above her older sister. That Shion, in such a miserable voice that I couldn't have imagined it during those peaceful times, prostrated herself before the older sister she used to scoff at and pleaded forgiveness. Mion looked down with an expression of cool indifference, one that was plainly smiling with joy. You know, I wasn't planning on listening to your petty wishes. The way you're crying, though, is just too funny. I think maybe I'll change my mind and listen to you. Since, come to think of it, I never did anything big sister-like for you. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Alright then. Let's hear you apologize for everything. Then maybe I'll let it all be water under the bridge. And maybe, just maybe, I'll let Kei-chan go. Mion said she might let me go, but she never said anything about letting Shion go. Before long, Shion got on her hands and knees behind the bars and began to speak weak words of apology. They were too faint for me to hear, but their intention got across. Despite having watched her, with a magnificently jubilant expression, Mion kicked the bars and declared she was unsatisfied. You think you can make up for years of grudges and hard feelings like that? That just will not do. I guess I'll make mincemeat out of you both. No. Wait, sis, one more chance. Just one more chance. Mion stopped and waved her hand again in resignation. Not because she had grown impatient, but only because she was taking delight in abusing Shion. You can't apologize to my satisfaction anyway. I'll teach you how to make an apology that will get through to your older sister. I'm only going to tell you once, and if you get even a letter wrong, you're out. Got it? Yes. Yes. Thank you, sis. Ugh. Shion's miserable voice cried out, having become utterly hoarse. The sensation tearing through my chest returned a little at a time. I realized it was feelings of anger bubbling up. I was slowly regaining control of my body. However, I was only able to feel my skin and my blood flowing at the moment. I still couldn't voluntarily move my fingers. Did you memorize it? Then let's hear you say it. Sincerely and faithfully, from beginning to end, with all your heart. If you can do it properly, then I'll only kill you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Something was strange. Something had become strange at some point. Until just a few moments ago, I was sure this had been Mion, but at some point, she had become someone else. The Mion I knew well would never do something so nasty like enjoy trampling all over someone's dignity like this. Now, let's hear it. Your big sister is listening closely. Shion Sonozaki is... When I ran over to Shion's cell earlier, had the real thing been swapped out with a fake right behind me? Anyway, this couldn't possibly be Mion. Shion Sonozaki is a lowly, worthless soul, not fit to even lick her big sister Mion's feet. And when I think of the countless times I have been rude to my big sister without knowing my place... Yes, that's the spirit. I'll permit you to say a little more now, okay? Blood circulated through my whole body. My numb senses were returning. Just a little more. While Shion is still holding me on... No. That thing pretending to be me on detention. Hurry up. I reflect on how impertinent I've been and swear loyalty to my big sister Mion for the rest of my life. So... Mion's burst of laughter echoed through the big cave, growing to a terrifying level. Let's hear that laughter. Let's hear that laugh. Yeah, I never claimed I could fucking match this shit. But, you know, this is a cool and chilled out audio series for people who don't want to watch. So. Oh god, this is awful. I'm smiling now because that's like the fucking final defense I have, is I start smiling. Mion's burst of laughter echoed through the big cave, growing to a terrifying level. It was not the laugh of someone who was alive in this world. It was none other than the laugh of a demon from the bowels of the earth. She laughed from her stomach until she grew tired of it and stopped smiling suddenly, as if snipping a wire. Alright, alrighty. That was funny enough for me. I didn't think you'd throw away that much of your pride. That was plenty enjoyable. Mion began to drag me again, after I finally got the feeling in my body back and pulled me towards the torture chamber. Sis, only kill me. Please forgive him. Don't worry, alright. I'll be sure to kill you real good. After letting you get an earful of Kei-chan's screams, that is. The deal was that you wouldn't kill Kei-chan. I suspect that doesn't include extremely clinical and purposeful torture. No! After dragging me to the torture chamber, she skillfully strapped me into the restraining table. Before I knew it, I was sprawled out and bound. She forced open my hands, with which I couldn't even make a satisfying fist, and tightly restrained each one of my fingers. She fastened only my hands, and my fingers at that, tightly with hinges, and locked them in place. Sis, don't kill him, sis! The door to the big cave with the jails had been left open, so I could hear Shion's cries of mortification the entire time. Can you hear it, Shion? I'm gonna get started now. Please enjoy Kei-chan's young screams. Give it a fucking rest. This feeling in my body returned, and the first action I took was to tell off that thing that looked like Mion. Awake at last, are we? I lied before, you know, about having wanted to give Shion the most miserable death of all, but locking her up because I hadn't thought of a good way yet. That was a lie. Mion brought over something like a toolbox. From inside it, she removed a large metal hammer, and next to that, she began to line up what looked like long, strangely shaped nails whose ends had turned into hooks like the kind you'd see on a harpoon. I'll let her hear the screams of all those people that died because of her, and after they soaked into her very soul, then I'll kill her. I've got pretty good taste, huh? Who are you? Huh? I'm Mion. Mion Sonozaki. Has the fear driven you crazy? No, you're not. There's no way you could be Mion Sonozaki. Mion snorted and continued her preparations for the horrifying torture. I see. Then if I'm not Mion, who am I? A demon. Huh? You're not Mion. Mion was just here. Give her back. Kei-chan, is your brain really doing okay? You're not going crazy with fear? Don't touch me! You damn demon! Give her back! Give Mion back! His friend, give Mion back! Mion stood there for a few moments with her jaw hanging open, not having expected me to say that. I myself knew that I was about to go insane, I knew it was nonsense to demand Mion's return when she was right in front of me. But... This person in front of me couldn't possibly have been Mion. There was no way I could accept that. So, this is what I thought. Mion really had been possessed by a demon. And was controlling Mion as if it was a separate personality. Mion was just a victim being manipulated by it. The evil one was really... this thing. It all had to be the doing of this demon possessing her. When Mion heard that, she started to guffaw, laughing so hysterically that she started to cough and almost choked. You really are a piece of work, you know that? In this very moment, Mion Sonozaki is trying to kill you, and you're trying to reject me? I never knew there was such a funny person in all the world. If you want to laugh, do it all you want. No matter what you say though, I won't accept that you're Mion. Give her back. Away with you, demon! Kei-chan, are you trying to kill me by drowning me in my own tears? No matter what, I wouldn't lose to that laughter of hers. I shouted loudly. I shouted from the bottom of my heart, so the real Mion, trapped inside the Mion I saw in front of me, would be able to hear. You can do it, Mion. Don't lose to this piece of shit demon. You're strong. Show me how strong you are. Hey, you know what, Keiichi? I've got to admit, you're really holding your own in this completely and utterly horrible situation. Like, you're keeping your cool. Mion is continuing to laugh hysterically. The tears welled up and flooded down her face. Her hands were busy with the restraints, so she couldn't even wipe them. She just let them flow. Please, Mion! Mion! Where did you lose to a demon like this? You're not that weak, are you? Don't lose. Fight! Fight! Mion, desperately enduring her laughter, pressed one of the long nails to the tip of my left pinky. In her left hand was the hammer. At her side were dozens more nails. I could tell what she was about to do. I wish I couldn't. Even so, couldn't afford to be scared. Yeah, this is fucking awful, man. You're doing better than I would, Keiichi. Because I know exactly what this is. That was why I shouted. She's still laughing. My sides hurt like they're about to split. Is that all? I'm gonna get started now. Be sure to give us some good screams. Not only am I torturing you, Kei-chan, but I'm torturing Shion as well. Why? Why would you? Mion! Then I wept. Only sobs came out. They weren't in acceptance of the torture about to be performed, however. They were tears of regret that Mion had lost to the demon. Yet a small change did occur in Mion in front of me. Her heightened excitement was draining little by little. By the time I'd realised it, the one in front of me had returned to being Mion. Kei-chan, this may not be something pleasant to take to the grave with you. You really seem to want to know, though, so I'll tell you just one thing. I didn't know if this was Mion, or just a display of momentary humanity the demon had recovered. A long time before the demon came to live inside me. It was gnawing at my heart, trying to spur me to violence, but suppressed it with my reason. That settled the demon down. I got to thinking it had gone away somewhere. As it turned out, I was wrong. It hadn't left me. It had just gone to sleep. I noticed that there were tears forming in her eyes. Demon Woke up again due to a certain small opportunity. What do you think that opportunity was? There was a sad and yet reproachful light in Mion's eyes. Do you understand? I don't know. What gave the demon the chance to beat Mion? This might be strange for me, demon, to say, but you're the reason that everything got so messed up. The tears welling up in her eyes spilled downwards all of a sudden. At the time, if you had given me that doll you got without hesitating, maybe everything wouldn't have gotten so twisted. The doll I got. That doll that I got when we had our club meeting at the toy store that Sunday. You probably can't understand. I wouldn't expect you to. You see, all sorts of things started falling over like dominoes after that, and soon it was too much for me to control. It only makes sense that you wouldn't be aware of knocking over the first one, since it was so small, but you're the one who set it up. That can't... Me? If you hadn't made Mion cry, then I wouldn't have had to wake up. Is that enough? For you to die in peace? The mistake that I'd made on that day was what messed everything up? That can't be, can it? It only makes sense that you wouldn't be aware of it. Even so, Kei-chan, you are, without a doubt, the cause. If you had nonchalantly given me the doll that day, then I don't think this would have happened. I wanted to say, like I just remember something, as I recalled that day. Rena had told me about that, and I thought I had apologized. I didn't apologize to Mion, though. It had been Shion. In other words... Oh God. I hadn't said a single word of apology to Mion. Today I came to this house, saying I had something to apologize for. But I never said a word of apology about this. Come to think of it, when I apologized for going into the ritual storehouse, Mion looked a bit lonely, like she was disappointed. Why didn't I realize that until just now? Rena told me at the time, and now she, herself... No, the demon was telling me. It's the only way for a dense idiot like me to be cured. To die altogether. Ugh. Oh. I could no longer hold back the hot tears from pouring out of me. I simply just cried and reflected indifferently on the taste of my tears, on the taste of regret. Can I start now then? This method of torture is very simple. I'll nail one of these into the joint on the end of your left pinky finger. Then I'll nail each one in order until I get to your thumb. And then I'll go back to your pinky and nail one into the joint in the middle. So on, until I hammer 15 nails into your left hand. When that's over with, I'll do your right hand next. For that, if you're still conscious, I'll tell you. There are a lot of nerves bungled. Oh, I'm sorry. There are a lot of nerves bundled in your fingertips, so it hurts far more than you could imagine. Some people apparently pass out before you finish hammering 30 nails into their hands, so... Mion pressed the tip of a nail to my left pinky finger. My wrists, my arms, and all the joints on my finger were strapped in so tightly it hurt, and I couldn't even twitch. I didn't hesitate at all when I was torturing the others. Why do I hesitate now? If this will satisfy your demon, Mion. If it will sate the demon, and do to me what you will. Are you serious? Compared to how much I hurt Mion, this is nothing, right? Do as much as you want. In exchange, miss me 2 things. Mion was silent. She did, however, wait for me to speak. After you're satisfied with causing me pain, forgive Shion. She's been punished enough to make up for her crime of sneaking into the storehouse, hasn't she? You. After all this, you can still worry about Shion more than yourself. The other thing is that when you've had your fill, you disappear. Give that body back to Mion. So, you know, are you not even considering possibly begging for your life or anything? Can I ask you to promise 3 things instead of 2? The third is to leave me alive. You said 2 in the beginning, didn't you? So you can't have any more. That's a shame. In such a normal situation, Mion and I laughed quietly together, as if sharing in a stupid joke. I probably won't keep these promises. Understand? I'm a demon after all. I guess there's nothing I can do then. I recalled tightening my hands into fists when enduring the pain at the dentist's office. Right now, though, they were opened all the way to my fingertips, so I couldn't even grip them. So instead, I tightened my toes. Okay. Do it. I've prepared myself already. So do it. You waiting like this to hammer the nails in is scarier. It's going to diminish my readiness after all. Mion put down the hammer and gently stroked my cheek. Kei-chan, I'll agree to this the third thing, okay? Huh? My third wish? To save me? She'll agree to it? Your first wish? To save Shion? That's long done for. The demon will kill her. It's already been decided, so I can't stop it. So give up on that. Her delicate fingers slid from my cheek to my chin. As for your second wish, to give this body back to Mion. That won't happen either. After today, Mion will never come back. From today on, even if my body is here, it will be just a body. Because the Oni has taken it over. That isn't true. Mion is Mion. Don't say such sad things like she won't ever come back. Can you hear it? That sound? Mion gently closed her eyes and listened. I definitely heard it as well. Slam. Slam. It was a dull noise that repeated at fixed intervals, a low noise accompanied by vibrations. A lot of people were ramming the iron doors to this underground ritual storehouse. You're late, so Ren had probably called Oishi. Spaced out girl being so quick thinking was the one thing I didn't anticipate. I'll agree with you there. Mion grinned like she'd been outwitted, then took something that looked like an electric razor out of her pocket. When she pressed the switch, pale blue sparks flew out with a snapping noise. You've probably never seen one before, right? The real stun gun. It's illegal, and its output has been increased quite a bit. Was that what you hit me with before? That's not a toy children should be playing with, you know. You're right. She seemed to want to use the stun gun on me. Unable to move, I felt her press the cool lump of metal to my neck. Slam! I heard a roar as though they'd broken down the first large door. The halls were a bit complex, but aside from the door to this very torture chamber, there was nothing in their way. I won't kill you, but I will have you go to sleep for a bit, Kei-chan. Oishi will be here soon. This will only hurt a bit. Feeling the same shock as before, gritting my teeth wasn't going to help much, but I clenched them tightly anyway. However, just as she did, when she was about to hammer the nails in, she hesitated a little. Cracked open my tightly closed eyelids. I'm sorry for disgracing Mion. I made a promise before coming in here. Whatever happens, the Mion inside my heart won't change. Look, forget about that. If you ever see me after today, don't come near me. By then it will be the demon that inherited my corpse." "What are you talking about?" Just as I tried to say that, a much stronger light than before shined, and like a television being switched off, my consciousness went black. Jesus. June 1983. A string of disappearances occurred in Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone City, XX Prefecture. The suspect is Mion Sonozaki, 1X years old. She is suspected to have kidnapped 5 Hinamizawa residents between June 19 and June 21. Oryu Sonozaki. Damn, Oryu. Shion Sonozaki. Kichiro Kimiyoshi, Rika Furude, and Satoko Hoju imprisoned them and killed them. Preliminary investigations on the incident were delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence, but it was resolved coincidentally and shockingly. On the morning of the 23rd, a vehicle patrolling the Sonozaki property heard screams from inside and rushed in as an emergency measure. They secured the suspect's missing young sister, Shion Sonozaki, and her 2 missing classmates, Ichi Maibara and Rena Ryugu. The suspect fled the scene. Deep in the detached basement on the Sonozaki property, which is believed to have been used to kill those who disappear, we discovered hair, flakes of skin, blood, etc. of the other 4 missing persons: Oryu Sonozaki, Kichiro Kimiyoshi, Rika Furude, and Satoko Hoju. We concluded that the missing persons were tortured in the torture chamber. However, their remains have still not been found. At one of her imprisoned classmates' advice, we continued searching the detached basement of the Sonozaki property, which was where they were imprisoned, believing that they were there. However, we still have not located them or the suspect's escape route. In addition, investigations are continuing as to her participation in the serial freak death incidents of recent years, thinking it would give some clue, but no evidence that Mion Sonozaki was involved, either directly or indirectly, has been found. There are still many unclear There are still many unclear points as to the motive behind the incident, and as those of the Sonozaki family and the residents of Hinamizawa have been extremely uncooperative in assisting us, we expect to require a long time to clarify them. The opinion of a local officer knowledgeable about the region is that this may have been a lynching, an internal form of punishing sacrilegious acts carried out against the beliefs of Hinamizawa village. It is clear that these incidents are particularly rooted in this region, and the Prefectural Police Department has ordered a cautious investigation. We anticipated gaining valuable clues from the missing person, believed to have been imprisoned for the longest time, Shion Sonozaki, the suspect's younger sister. But her mind was stricken by the grave after-effects of the incident, and she has not been in a state of mind to properly answer any questions about what she knows. The psychiatrist concluded that she is in a temporary state of shock, but it doesn't seem hopeful that she will recover today either. Only a few days passed since that time. After that, I was rescued by Oishi-san and his subordinates, whom Rena had called in. Aside from my entirely blank state of mind, I had no external injuries. The most I had was the small burn mark from where the stun gun hit me. As I was having a checkup at the hospital, Oishi-san asked me all sorts of things, but I don't really remember what he asked or how I answered him. From what I heard, Surprisingly, Mion still hadn't been captured. There were apparently a great many hallways and smaller rooms extending out from the depths of the prison. It wouldn't be strange if she had fled to one of those and hidden herself. The one fortunate aspect amidst all the misfortune was that Shion had been safely secured by the police. When I last saw Mion, she seemed like she was going to take me with her and then kill me. She probably didn't have enough time to, though, since Oishi-san came running in faster than she predicted. That was the only really fortunate thing to have happened. Of course, the rescued Shion, despite having no external wounds, now had a big, deep wound in her heart. She was in a severe state of confusion when they rescued her, and apparently she bit the police officers trying to resist. From what he heard, she was seeing Mion in everyone she saw, hated not only the hospital, but even her own home, and had shut herself up somewhere in Shishibone, hiding her location. Additionally, in fear that Mion would come for her, she was moving from place to place every day, and even her parents weren't sure where she actually was. Wherever she was living, even now, Shion was spending her days in fear of Mion's shadow. The police were investigating the Sonozaki's underground storehouse at this moment, since they couldn't find the remains of the other sacrifices. Hadn't Mion thrown the corpses into a well? I had a feeling I'd said that to him. That meant a hidden tunnel, vertical like a well, was somewhere in those underground passages. The secret underground without any maps or architectural drawings, which had swallowed up the remains of Rika-chan, Satoko, and everyone else, still unwilling to speak the truth. I was brought back to that basement again too, for an on-the-site inspection or something. But I don't remember being of any help. I never wanted to go back there again. For days afterward, the Sonozakis living in Okinomiya, in other words, Mion and Shion's parents, the big-name Yakuza, would come to our house to apologise, bringing many of their followers with them. However much my parents refused it, they piled up many 100,000 yen bills, calling it consolation money every day. The amount of money grew each day, and after it had passed 2 million yen, they were given an envelope containing a letter. I don't know what was written in the letter. My parents talked about it for 2 whole nights and decided to move away. Leaving Renner alone. Oh, God, no. I see. You're moving, huh? No. No! Oh, no. When? At the end of next month. I won't even have been in Hinamizawa for half a year. I'll be lonely. I'm the only one left. Renner smiled sadly. If I had just said yeah, I thought it would make her even more lonely, so I changed the subject. Here's something to think about. That's how I broached it. Mion hadn't actually fled, but had been demoned away in the truest sense of the term. Where she went after she disappeared, that we didn't know. What was there? Where she had disappeared to? I hoped there was a hobby shop dealing in imports, the kind Mion liked. In that place, she would definitely be free from the burdensome fetters of her family, and live not as Mion Sonozaki, but as just Mion, and enjoy herself. Maybe she's already met up with Satoko and Riga-chan. They must also have been waiting for the day Renner and I would join them, spending all their time doing club activities, as lively as they always were. When I told Rena that, she smiled and nodded to me. The incidents the Sonozaki family had been trying so hard to hide too were exposed to the magazines from this single tiny seam. The serial incidents of recent years were all pulled up like a long vine in the ground. And for many days, news of it was brought up on talk and variety shows, the shows which were comedic and silly. Never once tried to touch upon the grim, heavy history that Mion had been bearing. It made me mad to see them bringing this stuff up in jest, but there was nothing I could do about it now. How big an impression would these short few weeks I spent in Hinamizawa have on my life? During these few weeks, I met my best friends and had the best experiences of my life. I would probably never forget it for as long as I lived. As for the distorted image of Mion that the media created, after the masses got tired of treating her like a plaything, they would ball her up, throw her in the trash, and then she would fade from their memories. As somebody, as one of the few people who knew the real Mion, I must always make sure I remember her. Beyond any doubt, that will surely become my offering to her. The sky reached so far up, and towering cumulonimbus clouds floated through it. The real summer was just before our eyes.